Hey guys, Eddie here from Deline Property. Today I want to do a quick video. This video is all about a very controversial topic which I hear a lot of people talking crap about, and it's a very common question that I get asked all the time. What we're going to be talking about today is should or can, or is it alright to even buy a property that's in a larger complex? So such as a townhouse within a larger complex or a unit within a large complex. Is it alright? Should you do it? Should you not do it? My opinions, my thoughts, and some very, important information of what I've learned over the years with buying properties in bigger complexes. I bought, just for the record, I have 15 properties now. I'm 27 years old. If you're just tuning into this video and you're wondering who is this guy, why is he talking, why should I listen to him, and all that kind of stuff. But I've been basically featured all over TV, the news, the media, for my story with building my property portfolio. So check out some other videos if you want to find out some more. But basically, jumping back to the question, should you buy properties in a larger townhouse complex or unit complex? Is it okay? From my opinion, yes, it is okay, depending on the circumstances, if obviously for investment purposes. But there's a lot of, people out there, property people, property companies and all that kind of stuff that say, don't buy in large townhouse complexes or unit complexes because, for one, it doesn't have owner-occupier appeal. People don't like living in larger complexes and all that kind of stuff. Some people also say they might have higher vacancy rates. There might be high body corporate fees or whatever it is. And those are all some valid questions and valid points. However, that's not to say it's bad to buy in a place like that in general. Just because some places aren't so good doesn't mean other places aren't good investments. So just from my experience and my, building my own portfolio, I bought houses in land in Sydney, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Adelaide, all throughout Australia, houses with land. Then I've also bought townhouses in smaller complexes, bigger complexes as well. So smaller complex, four townhouses in a complex, 8 townhouses in a complex, 10, and then bigger complexes with 80 in the complex or 100 in the complex, etc. And same with units. I bought units in small blocks, bigger blocks, whatever. Some benefits of buying in a larger complex. Not saying you should, not saying you only should buy them or you shouldn't, but some benefits of actually buying a large townhouse complex is, for one, there's more comparable sales. So if you do your facts, if you do your research and you pick up an amazing deal that's in a large townhouse complex and you get a below market value or below comparable sales, however you want to call it, and it's got a good rental return and it's in a metro area, 20 minutes to the CBD, 30 minutes to CBD, 40 minutes to CBD, still in a metro area, over the long term, it's going to have growth, but you're buying a below market value with a good rental return. If it's below comparable sales, right? So you say you buy something, for example, and I buy a lot in Brisbane and the Gold Coast right now as of 2019. Say you buy something for 250,000 in a large complex, and there's other ones in that complex going for 280, 290, 300, 270, 280, etc. And you get something for 250. There's more comparable sales. So if you get a bargain, that's the biggest key. Obviously, it all comes down to that. You're getting a property below market value. But if you do get that, you've got more comparable sales that when you go back and revalue that property, go to the bank, ask for a valuation, and maybe you want to use some equity within that property to go to the next one, the bank will do a valuation which is made up of statistical data, comparable sales, pretty much the biggest one, of which ones have sold in that complex of similar quality. And if they're all the same, pretty much more or less, and they're all selling higher, you'll have more of them to go back and get your property valued at the higher price. So you'll be able to move forward a lot quicker. And I've actually noticed this from buying properties myself and for hundreds of properties for clients over the years, that's a big thing. You can move forward a lot quicker sometimes because there's more comparable sales. Often, if you buy in a smaller complex, the average owner, fun fact of the day, the average owner sells their property every 7 years roughly. Some people hold off don't sell their property forever. Some people sell every 2 years and then move somewhere else, etc. But the average time of property is roughly 7 to 8 years that people sell it. So if you've got a complex of say 100 in the complex, most likely one's going to be selling pretty often. But if you could buy in a small complex, there's not many comparable sales. So my first property I bought, there hasn't been a comparable sale there in like 4 years because it was in a unit within a complex of like 8 units. So that's just one pro, I guess. There's more comparable sales to be able to, if you're looking to use that equity, get a valuation and move forward quicker. Some other, I guess, benefits of buying in a bigger complex may be, you know, if it's within a metro area, key being metro area, you're going to have, I guess, rental demand there. So as long as you buy in a metro area and you avoid spots that have a, I guess, low vacancy rate, but basically if you're buying in a metro area, you should be able to get tenant in pretty quickly. But you've got, I guess, a lot, that close-knit community where people, sometimes there's an on-site manager, you know, lots of other factors, sometimes it has a pool and all the rest of it. So that's just another, I guess, pro. But some other things that quite a lot of people say is that it obviously doesn't have owner-occupied appeal. I wouldn't like living in the property, so I wouldn't buy there, and all that kind of stuff. And the question I ask you is, if you're buying for investment purposes, why would you even think about if you're living there? Because all the properties I bought, majority of all the properties I bought, I prefer not to live there. Some of them I would, because some are nice and some are not so nice, but plain and simple, it's not about what you like, it's about, you know, making money, creating wealth, building a portfolio, not getting stuck with building a portfolio and getting to the next level. You have to take the emotion out of it. That's the biggest thing. Try to take the emotion out of it. That's what I've learned. You really have to step away from it, and you have to be, I guess, analytical when you buy an investment property. But sometimes if you're too analytical, you don't end up doing anything and you just get stuck. So sometimes focusing on every little detail. Is it in a big complex? You know, it might not be rented out, all that kind of stuff. Bottom line, if it's in a metro area, it's going to be able to get rented. As long as you've got the right property manager under you, you know, helping you out, and it's, you know, close to amenities and all the rest of it. But half an hour, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 20 minutes to a city, a major capital city in Australia, it's going to be rented out. 2, if it's below comparable sales, you're giving yourself an exit strategy in case anything happens. You can sell the property, offload it. You're buying about below market value, so you're getting instant equity. So there's a winning formula there. And 3, if it's got a higher rental return, it's taking care of itself. So if you buy it for $250,000 as an example, and you're in a metro area, maybe half an hour out or 40 minutes out, and that $250K property rents for $350, $370 or $380, it's about a 7% rental yield. So it's going to look after itself. So those are, I guess, the 3 formulas that you can stick to. And there's a lot of other factors to take into consideration, but you've got to take action and you've got to, move forward. So that's my rant, that's my thoughts about buying properties within a big complex of it. So hope this video's helped. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to chatting to you guys in the next video.